This final video in the Stack and Tilt 10-word template series will cover the two words tuck hips, which is really the active extension of the body throughout the swing. I'll get into the detail of that shortly. And if you're interested in adding two bonus words to the 10-word template, I'm going to add those at the end. These are my favorite two words and ones that I would add to the 10 words if we were allowed two extra. But we're going to start with tuck hips. Let's see what that means and how it can help your golf. So what is tuck hips and what does it do to the golf swing? Well, it's really, as I mentioned already, discussing the active extension of the body. Pushing or tucking the hips forwards happens in good golfers throughout their backswing, and then it happens again in their follow through. And it adds to their ability to swing faster, adds club head speed, which is a real benefit, and it helps you to hit the ball higher. So higher, longer golf shots, which I think everyone would enjoy. So learning to tuck the hips correctly will have you swinging faster and hitting better golf shots. To help you see tucked hips, I've just placed an alignment rod down the front of my belt here, and I'm leaning forward as I would do to set up to the golf ball, to show you that at setup, I've actually got the hips back. I'm in flexion, or they're bent forwards. And that you can see how my chest is down against this stick. Yet in the follow through, I don't finish like this, or at least I hope I don't finish like this. The poorest golfers finish like this, the ones who swing the slowest. The best golfers move out of this flexion into extension. And the extension of the spine is brought about to a degree by the amount the hips are tucked or pushed forwards. So it's the tucking of the hips, particularly in the follow through, but it also has an effect in the backswing. But in the follow through, the tucking of the hips, the moving forward and also moving my chest away from the stick is a propeller, if you like. It's a propulsion piece that helps me to swing faster, hit the ball further and higher, as I've already said. Learn to do that and you'll hit better golf shots. But as already mentioned, that's typically not what we see highest handicap golfers do. They would tend to stay more bent forwards, both in the backswing and into the follow through. And that would see the chest translate or travel the furthest, rather than what you'll see in the best players, which would be the lower body moving forward to create that speed. So let me show you how you can train the feeling of tuck hips, learn that extension, what it feels like, and then how to implement it into your swing. I've picked up my alignment stick again, and I'm going to set up on the ground with the stick angled somewhat behind where the ball would typically be. These sticks are longer than most golf clubs, so this is quite an easy thing to set up and do. I've got the stick on the ground and it's angled at quite a severe angle here, so that what I need to do is, as I drag or move this stick towards the target, is I have to do so by keeping my arms straight. We talked about arms straight in the last video. And to get this stick out of the ground, I have to extend or tuck my hips forward, push my hips towards the target, and raise the hands, raise the club away from the ground by the act of extending, pushing my hips forward, tucking my hips effectively. If I kept my hips back and my chest down, this stick would never get off the ground. And that's how the poorest golfers swing through the ball, with their arms bending. They stay in flexion, they swing the slowest, they typically swing across the ball the most, which is the slicer, swinging from out to in, staying bent forwards. So this is a great exercise for training the ability to tuck the hips, raise the hands and the club away from the ground, no bending of the arms to pull the club away from the ground. You have to keep the arms straight and keep pushing those hips forward and up. At the end of the swing, you'll know you've done this correctly if the belt buckle is the piece of you that's the furthest forwards. Okay, you don't want to see the belt buckle back here with the pelvis tucked back and the foot furthest forward, or even the chest furthest forward. You want the belt buckle the furthest forward. That's going to help you swing the fastest and create the most consistency to that ball striking. So once you've got the sensation of where you're trying to get to, we grab the club, just put it in front of the ball sometimes and just do one or two more rehearsals of where I'm trying to finish. It's such an important point to make. Understand where you're trying to get to. Be very familiar and very clear about where you're trying to stop the swing. And in that way, you've got more chance of getting there. When you're ready, put the club behind the ball. We're going to go ahead punch the ball out there, pushing the hips towards the target. Really nice contact. Hips forward, extended. Tiny little punch shot again, really, if that's what I would call it. And in doing all these pieces and pulling together the 10 words, I'm really ensuring that the contact and the strike on the club face is consistent. And if that happens, your ability to control how far you hit the ball goes up tremendously. And that's really the skill that we're trying to train. Consistent ball speed and distances so that you choose the club on the golf course to hit the shot you need to hit. It's no good being able to hit your 7-iron 180, 200 yards even with a good one if you're also capable of hitting one 110. You need to have control of your strike, which helps you to have control of your distance, and that's what really makes you a better golfer. If you stuck around till the end, thank you for watching. I want to share with you 2 more words before we finish. These are a bonus 2 words that I find myself incorporating into many lessons that I teach for people who have poor foot flare at setup. Foot flare would be describing the amount the feet are turned out at setup. And all too often I see golfers who have their feet turned or pinned inwards, which has huge challenges and negative ramifications on the swing. Pinching the feet in, turns the knees in, typically makes it harder to turn and rotate. In fact, I challenge you right now, if you're watching this at home, stand up, get into your golf posture, turn your feet in and try to make a backswing, and then go back to the beginning, turn your feet out like I do, some 20 to 30 degrees, both of them, and make the same swing. And tell me what you notice. Get down in the comments and let me know what you feel. For me, turning the feet out is a great way to get the golfer's knees, hips and pelvis moving in a way that we want it to. It encourages the rotation elements. It's putting the body into a position where we're working within its normal range of motion. We're not putting excessive stress on the knee, ankle joints, or even the hips. So turn your feet out, both of them. It will help you to make bigger hip turn in the backswing, and it's also easier to transfer your weight forwards into the follow through. As I say, without putting excessive stress on the knees, the ankles, or the feet. Something I would often say to students is that success leaves clues. If you're really paying attention to what the good golfers are doing, not only will you see they have their feet turned out more than turned in, you'll also see that they keep their weight forward, they move their shoulder down and their hands in. Their arms are straight, particularly through impact and into the follow through, and they finish with this full extension. Their hips are tucked under them. That's why the stack and tilt 10-word template exists. It's a very basic framework that describes the vast majority of how the best golfers move. And so if you can conform to the basic template and incorporate the 10 words or the 12 words into your setup, your practice and your golf, I absolutely guarantee you'll see results. Better ball striking, more consistency, better distance, and ultimately lower scores. So that concludes the Stack and Tilt 10-word template series. I hope you've enjoyed learning about each of the 2-word concepts and how incorporating them into your golf game can certainly help you shoot lower scores. I've really enjoyed making them, and if you've got any questions for me about any of them, make sure you get down into the comments and let me know. Additionally, if you've enjoyed the videos as much as I have making them, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel because it really helps us to grow. If you want to watch any of the videos again, or if you've missed any and you want to go and make sure you check them all out, inside this playlist is where you need to go. All of the videos are included. You can go ahead and check them out at your convenience, and let me know in the comments of any of the videos if you've got any questions. I'd be delighted to get back to you.